Alright guys, first of all, this is Ashok. Welcome to my channel, and today Ashok will be talking about aviation management here in Germany. So Ashok, the way things are going to go on from here is we will talk about introduction. We will want your background. How did you start here in Germany? What were the learnings on the process? So if you could just turn back the hands of time, what will you go back and redo things so that people who are looking to study here in Germany, future prospect we're talking about, because a lot of people are going to use this video as in handy. Can you just talk in detail for a fresh person who wants to apply here as a aviation master, aviation management? So yeah, can you just start with introduction? So just keep it short though, because we're going to talk everything out.
So I'm Ashok, as he said, and I did my bachelor's in aviation aerospace engineering, and
from which college?
SRM University.
Oh, by the way, he's from Chennai.
And then I did my bachelor's, and then I was selected on a campus interview, so I had to work for a year. I did apply to certain colleges in Germany, and some rejected me, some
can I ask you how much did you score in bachelor's?
My average was 7.0. My CGPA was 7.0 at the end of 4 years.
Okay.
So that came around to 2.3 in German when they converted it.
Right.
So that was my score.
Right.
And then I had to work for a year. I worked for a year because my parents were like, you work for a year and we'll see what happens, and then work for a year, and then I was like, that's not happening.
Where did you work?
At Relationship Science.
Okay.
It's a research analyst company.
Okay.
And then after a year, I said no, it's not happening, and then I applied again, and I got admitted again. So. But
how's it got to do with what you studied?
Because I was not working what I studied. That's the problem.
That's the thing. I think this is what I talk on my channel.
That's the problem.
So many people are doing something which they are not really passionate about.
Yeah, it's what.
Right. Anyway, so I'm more interested in the story. So go ahead. What happened? So that was your study. That was
my work, and then I said, and the good thing was the study which I did, it needed work experience.
Right.
The same university which I studied in rejected me when I applied to them in 2013.
Wow.
Because they said you cannot apply here, you cannot study here because you do not have work experience.
Okay.
So it was a blessing in disguise. Me working over there, and I applied again, and then they accepted me the second time.
Right.
Because there are only 2 universities in Germany that are really good, one in Frankfurt and one in Berlin for aviation.
And then you studied in one of them.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. We will get to that part. Can you walk us through when you were in India, sitting in Chennai, trying to apply while you were working in a job which you were not really interested in? What was the first steps? Can you walk us through the steps?
Yeah. So it was. So the thing is, you guys have to start at least by December if you guys want to apply for the next winter semester, the winter intake.
Okay.
So all the applications and the deadlines end in May. For most colleges,
right? So
you have to make sure that you have the required test scores,
right?
For the English courses, GRE if necessary for some universities, and then all your degree and everything. So you start very early, or at least by December. Mm-hmm. That's what I started. Right. So I went through colleges first, where we can apply and where my scores would fit.
Sure.
And because you have to be realistic about your.
Right, it's like
you can't just apply to any college just because you have to see where your scores meet, and if you are interested in doing the course. And I think there were like 4 to 5 colleges in Germany, and I was like fine to apply to all those colleges, and I was accepted for 2 and rejected in 3.
Right. Now tell me that machine, like how did you apply through?
So it was initially you go to the websites of each university, and you see how they want you to apply.
Okay.
And each university had a different criteria for applying.
Right.
So for me it was Uni Assist.
Exactly.
Where I had to apply through Uni Assist because they said my Indian scores have to be converted. Right. For the German accreditation, and then they said Uni Assist will do it for you for a fee.
Okay. So how many applications did you file through Uni Assist?
It was only one. I actually don't know. It's 4 years back. I think it was 2 colleges.
Okay.
For 2 colleges through university, but I got through only this one. I think the other one was for production engineering at Dortmund.
Right.
The other one was. Yeah.
Okay. So far I've understood that you applied through Uni Assist, also from direct to
the
university
website. Yeah.
Okay. So all in all, how many applications did you file for aviation?
Aviation, I think one was Emirates, two in this one in US. So like 5, I think. Overall 5.
In Germany?
In Germany, for aviation was 3. Like one in Frankfurt, one in Berlin, and Emirates was the other one, and one in the US because my friend was studying over there. And
okay.
Like, why don't you apply here? So that was the reason. And then I was anyways hesitant to go to the States.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like fine with it. And yeah.
Okay.
It was four overall, I think, in Europe. Because I also played for Toulouse, I think.
Right.
I also played for Toulouse, yeah. I was rejected over there as well.
Next thing which I would like to know is, can you tell me the name of the university? Because I know a lot of people are like curious, where did you study? And walk us through what kind of knowledge you have gathered on the way and comparison to the bachelor's study which you did it in India.
Yeah.
Right? Because you already came with the background of aviation, and then now you came here like, okay, the people only do masters because they want to enhance the skills which they already have.
Yeah.
So yeah, just walk us through.
So I studied at TH Wildau. So we have a secondary division called Wildau Institute of Technology.
Okay.
It's also called WIT. Because I get my degree from TH Wildau, but I study under Wildau Institute of Technology.
Okay.
It's a part of the university because my study is in English, and universities in Germany, like not most universities in Germany give you an English option.
Yeah, that's true.
So they had to make sure that English is part of the curriculum.
Right.
So at the end of the day, I am a student of TH Wildau.
Okay.
Which is a Hochschule.
It's applied sciences.
Applied sciences. Technical applied sciences.
Yeah.
So that was how it is, and then my course is for 2 years.
Right.
And it has 4 modules, 4 huge modules, and it is more of a full-time study. So for Indians or for any non-Europeans, they provide you with a 120 credit course. So initially it's a 60 credit
semester.
course. Yeah, 4 semesters.
Okay.
So initially the program is a 60 credit point.
Okay.
But if you are an Ausländer or if you are a foreigner, you can do it the full 120 credit course. And the reason that is, you get to do internships. You are forced to do internships, I can say, put it like that, because they want you to have an hands-on approach on the studies.
This is what I like about applied sciences universities here in Germany, and you get to see the real world.
Yeah, you have to. Like they kind of motivate you, because I studied with almost 8 to 9 Germans in my class,
right?
Who are already in the field of aviation. So I was gaining knowledge or information from them which I was not getting back home.
Right.
Back home, you were with your peers and they study the same thing, but here it was different. It was like, when I entered the class, we were just, I think 17 of us, out of which at least 14 were already in the field of aviation.
Wow. Okay.
So, and my professors, my professor, the head of the professor, he is almost 27 years in aviation. So we had the best of the professors. We have people from Rolls-Royce, from Frankfurt, from Fraport, who run Frankfurt Airport, from there, and from other different fields of aviation.
Right.
So the classes are not like classes, actually. We were just discussing about what's going on in aviation.
Right.
And we were covering the curriculum at the same time.
Right. So let's break it down now. So if you started studying here in Berlin, Wildau is like
Berlin.
It's in the outskirts of Berlin, actually. C region, right?
Yeah, C region. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's pretty close to Schönefeld Airport.
Yes, 20
the
minutes.
airport where I went to, where I went Zurich from. So they know it already.
It's easy, that right?
Yeah. He knows everything.
I was working at the airport, so yeah, kind of.
Yeah. So, so you imagine now you started studying in Wildau first semester.
Yeah.
And then you study for how long before you go for your internship?
So you do at least 2 semesters.
Oh, for 1 year you study straight?
Yes.
And then you go for
an internship.
And who's going to help us for internship?
So my university did help me a lot. Like my professor, they did help me a lot.
And then they do normally?
Yes.
Okay.
The thing is, once you show intent to them, they will give it back to you.
Okay.
So I was torturing my professor, I would put it that way, he knows that. I used to write him tons of emails telling I wanted to go learn something.
Right.
It's like I have my classes going on and then like you have a break, so since it's a part-time course.
Right.
And the full-time classes are combined together. So usually when you study for like 3 weeks, there's a module for 3 weeks, you have at least like a 4-week break or 1 month break.
Okay.
And then you have another 3 weeks. So it's split.
Okay.
So when I do the 120 credit course, I study there's a gap and I study the next course. But for other people, they don't come for 2 months.
Okay.
So they come the next study program.
Right.
So I was like telling about where we the study program is like a break, and we need to work sometimes to to cut your boredom. So I was emailing my professor, and he was like, come work with me at the conference, and you get to know people, and people will also get to know you. And at the end of the day, you might find an internship somewhere.
Right.
With the companies that are coming. And that was exactly what happened.
Okay.
So I was helping with them since I also do photography as my hobby. He said take some pictures of people, and so that came out on the website. And that was my first published material.
Okay.
And I was happy about it, yeah. So and then it was early Feb when I did the conference, and late March I had my first interview.
Okay.
So I was getting the contacts. I had visiting cards from all the companies. I wrote to them, emailed them, telling I met you in the conference, and it was nice to meet you.
That's a smart way.
Nice to meet you, and I'm looking forward to any future positions that are available at your companies. And 2-3 replied, and I applied to all those people who replied, and then one called me for an interview. So. And that was my first 45-minute grueling interview which I've done in my life, I would say.
For first internship?
Yeah, for my first internship. Yeah. It was so they were asking me about a lot of technical questions.
Right.
Because I did not know what I was getting into. I knew the company, I knew what we were doing, but there are a lot of secret projects which they were working on, which I can't say.
For sure, no. It's fine.
So they were asking me if they knew, or if I knew what I was getting into.
Right. Yeah, they want to know where are you with all this.
Yeah. Because it's in that is when my bachelor's really helped me, because
your basics were clear.
Yeah, and they were like, okay, fine. I think we can give you an intern position.
Right.
And then we will see if you can do a thesis with us at the end of the internship.
Right.
So that was the idea with the company, and I started working with them.
Wait, what was the company about?
They do. So you've seen this in the movies, where there's an aircraft which refuels in mid-air.
Oh my god.
Yeah, so we do the camera systems for that. So you need a camera to see how it works, right? We do the cameras. So I was working for projects for Airbus and Embraer. Okay. So Embraer is a helicopter from a Brazilian company, and they specialize in these large aircraft carriers which are fuel basically, and they refill in mid-air.
Wow.
And you have DVR systems, and I was able to I personally was helping them with testing procedures.
Okay.
So because at 30,000 feet you are supposed to find how many vibrations it is, what are the factors your camera undergoes.
Right.
So pressure, temperature, thermal, so all these testing we were doing it for them.
Right.
And I was helping them with the documentation and testing and everything. So that was my first 6 months of
here in Berlin.
In Berlin, yeah, it was in Berlin.
And
near my university, actually.
Yeah, okay. And did you ever get a chance to go in the air to demonstrate?
My colleagues were doing that. They're flying to France, they're flying to Dubai.
That'll be like so cool internship. Forget about job.
Since I was an intern, I used to get feedback from them.
Yeah.
Because the documents which I write and I submit are the ones which are given to companies.
Right.
So they will always give me feedback as to where I can improve and where they didn't understand.
Sure.
So that was my actual learning of Microsoft Word and Excel, like detail learning. Yeah, and it was in German. The systems were in German.
Okay.
So that's when my first jump into German vocabulary.
Okay.
Because all operating systems were only in German.
Yeah.
And I had to learn those German words in Word.
Right. So right now, let's. I know there's a lot of information going on. So you were in India. I'm just doing a recap of what we have just spoken about. So you did a bachelor's in aviation and
aerospace engineering.
And you started working for a company for I don't know why. Because societal pressure or
no, it was
somebody.
It was like I was getting opportunities, but my parents, to be honest, said, why don't you give it a try in India and see, because you've been selected to the company, why don't you give it a
just
try?
Because it was through campus placement.
Yes.
Okay. We go ahead. So after a year, you realized, oh, okay, this is not
even a year. It was 6 months down the line.
Oh my God. Okay. 6 months, and then you decided that you want to go abroad, study further in the course what you have done.
And that's when my mom was like, yeah, fine, do it now.
Now you do it.
Yeah, she was not.
I think that's a smart way. I wouldn't oppose or I don't have any opinions about it. The reason being, you were fresh. And before, this is what I also talk about, that don't make decisions before even trying a lot of things, right? Because when you say that, okay, I'm not good at anything, no, you haven't tried anything enough. So, okay, so then you applied through Uni Assist, you went over university websites, and then you applied in a couple of universities there, and then one through Uni Assist, right? And then you got through the one from Uni Assist, which is...
so the process is, they first give you the score which they converted, and then you wait for another 3 weeks from the university to reply you.
Right. I've actually made a video about Uni Assist process step by step. So yeah, it's a regular process for any other university, right? So and then you got the admission here, and you studied for 2 semesters, which is 1 year straight, and then on the 3rd semester you went over for internship. And then what happened after that? So once you did your 6 months of time, what after that?
And then I was lazy enough to ask them for my thesis.
Okay.
I assumed that they would give me my thesis once I was done with my internship. But unfortunately, since I did not show an effort, they said sorry, and I had to and then I had to leave the company after 6 months.
Okay.
And then I had to I still had like a last semester, my 4th semester.
Right, yeah.
And then, so that was the time when my professors were like, so you should start thinking about your master thesis.
Right.
And I was like, wow, that's something new.
You've already gone away from studies now. Now you're involved so much in the process.
And so it was like a tough 6 to 7 month period. So it was end of October. I finished my 6 month internship, the first internship.
Right.
And I had to submit my thesis by end of September next year.
And how did you decide on topic, and who helped you out?
So here comes the fun part.
Okay.
So it was difficult, and I was not actually trying, but no luck.
Mm-hmm.
So I left. Moved ahead, and I was doing something else.
Okay.
Like we were making a movie, so I was occupied for like 3 to 4 months with that project, and I was.
He makes short movies, by the way.
So we were doing that, and then I realized this. I still need to finish this course. Because you have this thing where you can extend your semester for at least 3 semesters.
I think here is an interesting. We need to let them know, because. In India, you know that when you get into college, you have to get out of the college at the same time. You know that your plan is for 3 years, you're going to study bachelor's back to back. But here in Germany, there's an option that you can extend your semesters further. I think in your case, it's 3.
It's maximum 7 semesters is what I've learned from a lot of people.
Let's consider only your course that you can only extend
7 semesters.
You have to complete your 7 semester within the 7 semester course, right? Okay. Also, the other point was what he was mentioning about is internship and thesis. Now, you can get the internship at a lot of places. Like he worked there, helped the company to enhance their processes, built whatever responsibility he was given. However, what happens here in Germany is you can also do your thesis writing part, which is your academic education part, with the company, so that it's a project for a company where you're doing your internship. At the same time, you can hand over the same project to your school as a part of your education, which is your last semester, which is your thesis part, right? So let's go ahead.
And then it was early March, and I was still not having a topic, but I was adamant on doing it as a practical thesis. I didn't want to have a theoretical thesis. Because I did my bachelor's where I had a working project. So I was more interested in developing something rather than just writing writing some findings.
Right.
So I was fixed on doing it in a company.
Right.
I wanted to contribute.
Right.
So I made sure I was still asking my professors about it. And one fine day, he gave me a contact.
Okay.
But he gave me a contact for a film opportunity because my ex-boss, they wanted to do a short promotional material.
Right.
And he gave me my contact because I did a short promotional material for my university.
Okay.
So he was like, can you go talk to him, and he's interested. So I wrote him an email, and I went and spoke to him. We had a 2-hour discussion about how the short film or the short promotional material is supposed to be. And then at the end of the meeting, he goes like, what are you doing? And by the way, he works at the airport. He's like the assistant manager at Schonefeld Airport.
What a coincidence!
Yeah, because we had the aviation and everything. So
Aviation same, and then the film.
Yeah. So and then they were like, okay, and he went like, what are you doing right now? And they're like, I'm looking for my master thesis topic. And then he takes from his table, he had a document, a file, and he had 3 topics.
Okay.
And you're looking for people to do these topics.
Wow, it's a sheer luck then.
Yeah, it was absolute luck. So that is where I like always am thankful for that, because out of the blue he asked me the question, what are you doing and how are you doing, what are you doing with your current things, and I was like, no, I'm looking for this topic. And then he goes like, takes it out from just right on the table, like next to my file, and then these are topics, see what topics you want. So I got like a week's time to see what topics I would be interested in, and then I said that I can do that. But the one thing was, I was supposed to work at the airport.
Okay.
Because the thesis involved me doing stuff at the airport. So I had to have a background check done.
Okay.
And I was also planning to go to India. So I had to ask my boss, can you give me like 2 weeks? Because once I start, I can't go to India for a while.
For sure, yeah.
So I just took a small break, went to India, came back, and then it was a 3-week grueling process where you have to study for an exam. It was all in German for the air safety, like how are you supposed to handle yourself at the airport.
Right, exactly.
So you need to know the basics,
protocols,
everything. So you have to pass an exam. So once you pass the exam, you have this. They give you a confirmation.
Right.
So you take it to the airport office, and then they say everything is fine. And then they do a extensive research of me over the past 10 years where I've been.
Oh my god.
Minimum of 10 years. So
my god.
So I had to get a letter from the police station in Chennai.
Yeah.
My area, that I have no cases on me.
Yeah.
And then I had to submit it to the police in Germany.
Yeah, right.
And then they did the background research again. And then they said, yeah, you're cleared to work at the airport. So it's not easy to work at the airport, honestly.
Oh my god.
To get my ID card, I had to wait almost for like 3 to 4 weeks. And because of that, I couldn't start my work at the airport.
Right.
So it was like a 1-month process. I thought it was easy to get into the airport, just like go work.
I know.
But like this is not happening. You need to have a perfect badge. So that took me like almost 6 weeks.
Right. So okay. So
and then I had my thing. So I wanted to finish I knew I was supposed to extend a semester. It was confirmed because of these delays and everything. I knew I am supposed to extend to a semester. And then I got into working, and that comes so it was working at the airport.
Right.
That is when I understood that I have to work. I had to extend my semester, and it was not possible. And working at the airport is a really interesting job.
Okay.
You meet a lot of people every day, but you need to speak German. I knew
that's true. Yeah.
I knew German, but I was not so good with the conversational German.
All right, let's spit this out. Real hard truth.
Yeah.
Do you need German language to work in aviation management?
Yes. And
how much level?
Minimum of B1, I would say.
B1.
B1, yeah.
So plan your things accordingly. Learn B1 level of German if you want to work in aviation.
Yeah, because you might be a manager, and your colleagues will speak in English.
Yeah.
But you will have to communicate to the people on the ground.
Yeah,
who
right.
do not speak in
yeah.
English.
True.
And that is when you have to speak in German.
Right.
And that is when I had to speak German. So I was really forced, I would say, or more people are more lovingly helping me to speak German. So I had my colleagues, when I didn't understand anything, they would do it in a sign language and tell the German words.
Oh, okay.
So I understood what they were speaking.
Just like babies.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And it took me 3 months, and I was able to make sure I spoke proper German, which everyone understood at the airport. because I was speaking with a lot of people from a lot of different regions in Germany, and their dialects are also different.
Oh yeah.
So people from Bayern speak differently.
Yeah.
So you have to know how you're speaking, and they should speak.
Right.
So the first question when I get asked is, sprechen Sie Deutsch?
Okay.
That means, do you speak German?
Yeah.
And you can't say no because you are in Germany at the airport working. So they expect you to know German when you're as a point of between the customer and the airline. They expect you to speak German.
Right.
And so that's when I learned my German, which I can speak with confidence.
Right.
And it took me almost 3 to 4 months of conversational German with everyone.
But did you go to any sort of academic learning?
I did 3 months in Chennai, at Goethe for 1 level.
Which level?
A1, it was the basic.
A1.
A1
Okay.
because
so you came here to this country with A1 level.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
I had to kill time, so I studied. And then because I think you might have covered it, the visa process.
Yeah. I mean, I haven't, but yeah,
It's a grueling process.
Yeah.
And then after coming to Germany, I was still like during those waiting periods of my study, I did another level A2.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then
B1 I didn't write, but I know I can ace B1 if I am given an opportunity.
Right. Okay.
I'll do it in the future probably.
Yeah, just for certification, you speak anyways, right?
Yep.
Okay. Just for the paperwork. Okay.
Yep.
Tell me more about working culture here in Germany.
That is very, very fun, honestly.
Okay.
Because the Germans, they work, if they work for 8 hours, they work for 8 hours.
Yeah.
They work for 8. It's so interesting to work with them. And they're very kind to you, or they've been kind to me all the time. If I do not know anything or did not know anything, they would make sure I understood that, and only then they moved on to the next topic.
Right, okay.
So I had my managers or my supervisors who would come to me and they would talk to me in German to make me feel comfortable.
Right.
They would have a 10 to 15 minute conversation out of the blue. Like there'll be people standing there, but they'll be like, yeah, no problem. We'll have other people to take care of them. They'll take me to the side and they'll talk to me. They'll ask me how my day was going. Are you finding everything good? How is your project? How is the thesis coming up? Be it the assistant manager of EasyJet, she would come down and she would talk to me during the day, and they were so helpful about it. Everyone was so kind, and you can go approach anyone anytime. So that was how I had my experience of working in a German culture.
Right. Do you think every other company is also like this?
From my friends I've listened, it's almost the same.
I think so.
It's almost the same. They just like to welcome people when they're working together.
Yeah.
And they party hard as well. So.
Oh yeah. Fridays are sacred, especially weekends. Actually,
weekends. When you're off on a Friday, Saturday, Sunday. God. It's a different story.
The moment the clock is ticking 6 o'clock.
Yeah, that's what 8 hours.
Oh God.
After that 8 hour shift, it doesn't matter who you are. They don't like, I am leaving, I wanna go have fun. And that's something which I learned. Back home, you are forced to work. I would say that you are forced to work on Saturdays. Your manager will call you in, or something or the other, and you would be having this pressure. But here, you can be free, you can be relieved. You're working, you can take a time off Saturday, Sunday, or whenever you're free. No one's gonna torture you, no one's gonna call you, and it's always been like that for me.
I think it's the efficiency versus the effort.
Yeah.
Right. So if you are putting even 1 hour wholeheartedly to do some task, you can still get it done. This is what German efficiencies. That's why world famous. Okay, go ahead.
And then so my boss was like, "Where's your thesis?" At the end of 6 months.
You came there for that, yeah.
And then I'm like, it's happening. So my thesis involved changing. People here, I don't think they might understand my topic. So
they would, do you want definitely,
to?
Feel free to talk about.
The topic was, if you guys, so we have low-cost airlines in Germany.
Yeah.
All over Europe, actually.
Yeah.
And we have a very strict bag culture, a handbag restriction.
Right.
So you cannot carry big bags onto your cabins.
I swear to God, I want to interrupt you right now with permission. So, I was going to Zurich.
Yeah.
With EasyJet.
Yeah.
I was at Schönefeld Airport. I made that video, but I did not film that part. Wherein I went there, this dude at airport, what he was doing recently, he said, your bag is too big, you'll have to pay €5. He said, go to this counter somewhere and pay €5.
Yeah, that is because you were not at the boarding gate.
Yeah,
you were at the
exactly.
entrance.
Yeah.
So if you're at the boarding gate, it's a different story.
Yeah, he said, just directly go to boarding gate, see if they take it. And I went there and I was like, okay, I don't want to pay €5. I've already paid money for it's just a small bag, but still, I don't know why. But again, it's an economic, very average. How do you call it? This carrier. Like the low carrier.
Low cost carrier.
Low cost carrier.
So because you pay for what you get.
Exactly. Yeah. So and I also know Ryan Airways. So Ryan and EasyJet are.
They also visit. There are different airlines. There are low cost airlines. There are
more.
Yeah, there are more.
Okay. Yeah, you just keep telling me.
Yeah. So my thesis involved where people bring in huge luggages, and we cannot allow them on board.
Right.
And it will cost you €60 and €50 respectively with different airlines. And you have to pay it on the ground, on the boarding gate, to me or anyone who does this job. And people would go berserk. They go I paid, the ticket was only €30. You're asking me €60 to pay for the bag.
Yeah.
And I was abused. So everything happens.
And why would you ask for €60?
Because the bag wouldn't fit the case.
But that's a high price for a ticket what I have paid, right?
Yeah, I know, but you also agree to the conditions when you buy the ticket.
This is like a
terms and conditions. There are
it's in fine print. Yeah, it's like fine print. This small. Who the hell reads terms and conditions?
Yeah, I do. We have to. So I will have the terms and conditions with me. And I will have everything.
God.
Yeah, because that's how it works. And
God.
I have to speak to them very politely. You will be abusing me and I'll be smiling at you.
It's a hospitality.
Yeah, and right? I'll be smiling at you.
Yeah, yes sir.
But I've also deboarded passengers who've been unruly to me. I can do that. So I've done that to at least 3 to 4 people, I think.
Okay.
And they've had terrible days because of that, and I know that. But they've not. I know this video. I've been abused on Facebook forums, not me personally, but the work I do, or my colleagues. They've been abused on all public forums. But that's our work, and
you're doing your job.
Yeah, job.
You've been asked to do it.
Yeah. Okay. So I felt that it was wrong.
Right.
I don't know, something in me felt it was wrong.
That's
and
true.
The topic was also similar to what I was doing.
That's true.
So my idea was to regulate the process from your homes. Because now you would not know about this until you come to the airport.
Exactly. Right. Yeah.
So I wanted to make sure that you can implement this using an application, the flight application, when you're at home.
Okay. How?
When you buy a ticket, they don't tell you this.
Exactly. That was the problem.
Yeah, but you can push notifications.
Okay.
When you use an application. Yeah. So nowadays we go all for apps.
Right.
So my idea was to push notifications, and using machine learning, you can check your bag size at home, and pay if you want to pay, but you will be notified if the bag is big when you check it.
Oh.
And you will also get the information.
Okay.
And so that was my idea, and it is still under the consideration of the management of EasyJet.
But wouldn't it be so easy just if you put the dimensions and the weight?
It is written on your boarding passes.
It's written?
It is written on all your boarding passes.
Okay, but still
people don't read it. That's the point. I have had, if I'm controlling 10 people, 9 of them tell me where is it written. I ask them for their boarding pass and I show it to them.
Okay.
Yeah. So
alright, so let's go fast forward.
Yeah. So and then it was 6 months, and I was not sure how to proceed with my thesis.
Right.
But I was sure I had to know the problem. I had to understand the problem. So I had to do a survey. So I did a survey with 200 people.
Quantitative analysis.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it was in German and in English.
Okay.
And I went and approached people who were waiting for the flights when they were after boarding. You have a small waiting time.
Right. Exactly.
So I would go to them, because since I was working at the airport, I had the privilege to walk anywhere I want.
Yeah.
To any boarding hall and tell them I work for them and I'm a student. I'm doing this. So I would approach them. I would talk to them and give them a tablet, and they would fill the survey form.
Mm-hmm.
So it took me 3 months.
Right.
To get 200, because I wanted to have a good number. When you do
that's a real number. You're not faking it. Right?
Yeah, 188 to be exact.
Wow.
And then 14 from my 12 from my colleagues.
Right.
So I had to balance both the conditions, and it was difficult because my German was good but not perfect.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And the questions were translated in German by my friend, because I was not so good in writing German.
Yeah.
and then I had to understand what he wrote and everything, and then when they asked me questions I had to tell them back.
Right.
And there was some really friendly people and there were some really harsh people.
Oh god. Okay.
Because they knew the topic, because they've been a victim of it in the past.
Yeah, you took my money.
Yeah, so it was really fun to do the survey, but so it took me 3 months, and I told my boss, see, I couldn't finish it by the end of 6 months, and he said, so you have to extend your studies again. Like, yeah, I'm extending my studies again, and then I did extend for 1 year, and then they gave me a contract for 7 months from Jan to July.
Okay.
They were kind enough to do that.
Right.
But they said we can't give you an intern extension. You have to do a work student. Because now it was, you have to work for us and do your thesis by yourself. Because when we gave you the time, you were getting used to the conditions and you were doing a research and everything, so it was fine. But we can't provide you more time.
Right.
So it is up to you. If you want, you have to work as a work student, and then you do your thesis. For me, it was fine because I was not having my classes anyways. My classes were already over. I just had to submit my thesis. So I said, okay, it's fine. Give me a contract, and they gave me because I had to have a license to be at the airport.
Right. Exactly.
And that comes only with your work contract.
Okay.
So that's where it's a circle. And so that's fine, it's no problem. And then they gave me my work extension contract, and I was able to extend my airport license.
Right. Okay, so you have an airport license.
I did have, but now once you end it, you return it back.
Right. So when did you complete your thesis finally?
I did it in early September this year.
2017.
I was on 17 September.
2017, you finally gave your thesis.
Yeah.
So can you tell us what's the cost of living for you as a student?
So I live in a student O9 or a student apartment.
Right.
So I share my flat with 2 people. So it's 2 and me. So we are 3 people together.
Right.
And so for me, the house rent is about 200 euros.
Okay.
Per month. And
this is student work.
Yes, it's not student work. It's a private company.
Studentendorf.
No, it's even we have.
Okay. There are many, by the way.
There are many private apartments.
Okay.
So in Germany, I don't know if it's a rule. If you have a housing company, you are forced to allocate some
for students.
If there's a university in that region.
Oh god, that's so cool. Okay.
Yeah. So I've known a lot of people who come live there, study there, and I was given a contact from once a student was living there. Okay. And I couldn't find a place at my university.
Right.
So it's like from the next stop, but since it's in the same circle.
Right.
And they had to, since I was a student, they gave me an apartment.
Right. Okay. Cool.
Yeah. So that's 200 euros per month, and then you have the insurance of 95.
Which is almost 100. Okay.
Almost 100 now. Yeah, it's almost 100 now, and then you have your travel expenses, which are covered in a semester ticket.
Exactly.
So that is something which you don't.
Right. It's not something every month.
Every month, yeah. So and then these are the 3 main recurring expenses, and apart from that, the food depends on what you eat.
Right. I've always told them, of course, accommodation, and then food, and then internet.
Yeah. And
then insurance.
Yeah.
So these 4 things.
Yeah. For me, internet is it's not included actually. It's my roommate.
Well, if you see, you'll have to pay.
Yeah. Normally, everyone has to pay at least like a minimum of 20 euros per month at least. But since I was my roommate and they're very kind, Germans are very kind sometimes. So I have not paid for my internet in the past 4 years.
What honestly, the hell?
Yes, I've never paid. Okay. It's something I know not everyone does.
Oh my god.
They were so kind.
They're kind, that's why.
Yeah. I had 2 different roommates and they were both Germans, because I did not want to take the contract on my name. Okay. And they took the contracts and they were fine with not me paying, or they didn't even ask me for it. When I asked them, they said it's fine, no problem. So okay. So we share the house expenses. Right. Okay. We don't make sure, I don't ask them give me money for that or give me money for this. There's something not missing in the kitchen, we refill it. We refill it. And if he sees that something missing, he'll get it for me. So it's how we are we working together.
You need a lot of trust to do all this. Right? You need to do trust building. It just can't happen on day one. Yeah. Definitely, you'll have to learn how to live with others. In your case, they were German, but I've also seen in other Wohnheims or Studentendorf or Studentenwerk where people stay from different countries together and everyone has a different way of living.
Yeah, that's true.
Right? So there are clashes also. I've seen some cases where I don't like my roommate, he's this, he's that, and he leaves the bathroom tap like this. You know, people there are problems, right?
For me the big thing was they getting used to the cooking.
Right. Oh yeah, because our food
is spicy. It's spicy first.
Yeah.
And because they are welcome to try the food, and I eat their food as well.
Mm-hmm.
So when they cook for me, and when I cook, I also cook for them. So it's kind of so it's like in a 5-day week. So sometimes you cook for 2 days and they cook for 3 days.
Okay.
And so you don't cook at all. So you eat their food and they eat your food.
Wow.
Yeah. So we used to that.
You have come long journey with them. That's why you're able to do all this.
Yeah. I kind of knew them for like first 3 months.
Okay.
And then we got to know each other very well. We talked. We went to each other's places. And then we went out. And since it's Berlin, it's very easy to go out. You have a lot of things to do in Berlin.
Yeah.
And you become more buddies, because at the end of the day you come back home and you're living away from your family.
They're your family.
Their family, yeah, basically. So, and you get to know them very well, and they will have their upsides and downsides, and we will also have.
Everyone has shortcomings, and nobody's perfect.
The best story for me is the Indian head shake.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so that was addressed to me on the 2nd or the 3rd day. So I was very new. It was like my 3rd day in Germany, in my room, and my roommate wanted to cook for me.
Yeah.
And he was asking me, can I do that? Can I do this? Do you eat beef? Do you eat pork? All those things.
Right.
And I was giving him the Indian head shake. Now I don't do it, but
of course.
and I was giving and he couldn't understand anything in the morning, and then he comes back in the evening, and like I was going for work, so I was going to school. I didn't want to ask you anything. What the fuck does this mean? and then I had to explain it to him, and then it was so funny. And then he told, see, for us, this is yes. This is no.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean feel like what do you want me to do? So never do that in front of me or again. That was one fun thing which I learned, and that was when I realized that we do something without our consciousness,
right?
And he still makes fun of that.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's also a discussion for a lot of foreigners when they sit together.
Yeah.
Not in a negative sense.
Yeah.
It's just more of a positive vibe.
Yeah.
Oh, you do this because every country has a stereotypes, right? And every country has certain kind of features. That's how they are known for.
Yes.
Right. So yeah, it's nothing negative about.
Yeah.
So.
And you know when they are really wanting to know what you're doing rather than making fun of you.
Exactly, it's the curiosity.
Yeah,
you know,
it's like
which makes them.
Because since India is like a huge country,
it's massive.
Yeah, you get to know that after you leave the country.
Yeah.
When you're in the country, you do not actually understand that we have 6 ecological zones.
Yeah.
Once you move the country, you get asked questions like how many people live in the country, how many are in your state, what are the zones like, how the temperatures like. Like back home, I was in Chennai. I never used to watch or see what the temperature was on any given day. I knew it was going to be like 35 degrees on any given day. But then today is -6 over here, and you have to prepare yourself for it. And you see what the temperatures are, and these were the small differences you make when you live in Germany.
See, there are small details when he's talking about weather, friends, staying in a house, finding an accommodation, which I've already made a video about, or integrating yourself into any country you go in the world. You have to adapt the way they live, but at the same time you don't lose your value. Nobody's asking you to leave what your values are. You can always carry the wisdom and value what you have as a human being, but just try to integrate in society,
and be open-minded.
Acceptance has to be high, tolerance level has to be high. That's what I learned over the course of time.
And I've also learned a lot. Such
Everyone
things.
has a learning, right? Like when you go through different experiences.
When you work with Germans, it is given that you have to be patient.
Right.
You have to understand. You have to understand that they take time to reply to you. You can't just go talk to them.
Exactly. That's the point. It's like in the middle of the night, hey, I need this. You can't do that.
Yeah, you can't do that.
You can't do that with them.
You have to realize that they live by timings. They eat at 9 and they sleep by 8 and 9.
I think it comes with positive and negatives for them.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
so if there's an emergency situation, you can't just keep rushing the guy. Like, hey, just tell me quick.
Yeah.
You know, especially airports, where situation can go from good to really terrible.
Worst. I've been in both situations. So
right, that's what I'm saying. So you need an immediate reaction from the other side, like, hey, what to do next. So I think
but for me, they're more curious as to what they want to learn from us. Is what I felt. Like if I meet someone new, if I go to a party or if I meet someone in a house party or anywhere, they know that I come from India and they sit with me and they're like so kind and they, okay, where do you come from? What are you doing? How is that? How is the weather? Like, for me, the best experience would be like, there's a bus stand next to my house and it's a 70-year-old couple. And they come, they talk, they ask me, how are you? How are your parents? How do you feel? Are you comfortable? How are your studies going on? And they've been so kind and they ask me this question, why are you so brown? Okay, in normal context, you might find it's racist or people might think it's racist, but for them, they genuinely wanted to know why I was so brown.
They don't mean anything.
No, they never mean anything. And then I had to explain to them that I come from a region where I'm near to the equator, there's more sunshine in my place and that's why I'm always tanned. And then they were like, oh wow, okay, now I understand.
Right. I think it's the geography of India is so massive that when foreigners meet Indians, they don't really know how to react. Because okay, so he's really fair looking guy, he's a little dark looking, but they don't mean anything racist or with the outer appearance. Nobody means anything like that.
And they will ask you.
They will genuinely ask you. They will sit down and hear you out. Okay, so you come from this place, and they would want to know more and more and more. Germans are known for like deep talks. I would say.
Yeah, that is so true.
That's so true. Like they don't like short conversations. Just sit down and talk to them for hours, and they
can have a beer with you, and the conversation will go on all night long.
So
and you enjoy those conversations, honestly. And you like at the end of the day, you can like just put your shoulder, and once they become friendly to you,
oh yes,
you cannot be separate. Like they are to begin with. Germans, to begin with, Germans are little skeptical,
right?
But
at the
very beginning. But once you know them, and they know you as well, it's a different relationship altogether.
Right.
Like I've had a lot of good friends who drive down from their work in Frankfurt to Berlin because I was graduating.
Wow.
For
Who
the
does
evening.
that? How far is now? Again, just for their understanding.
So it's an 8-hour drive basically.
8 hours.
8-hour drive for me to see that I am getting my degree.
Oh my god!
My friend drove all the way from Ulm, like near Frankfurt.
That's so cool.
Würzburg actually, from Würzburg to Berlin, and we spent the night drinking and having a party. But I will never forget that experience where he made sure that it was a Friday evening actually. He left work early. he spoke to his boss. He left work at around 1. So he had to do a 6-hour drive. It was around 7:30, and that was when I was graduating. Like they gave me my degree and everything, and he was there, and it was so close to having a family.
Wow, yeah.
Because since my mom and dad were in Chennai and they couldn't travel at the time, so for me it was him having a family, and I will never like. I would do that again and again, and I would do anything for him because he takes an effort. And
for sure, yeah. They go extra mile.
Yeah, and that's what I've been really blessed with. I would say with friends in Germany.
Okay, now we have completed your studies.
Yes.
Technically.
Yes.
You also had a couple of internships.
Yes.
They almost can be counted as work.
Yes. Yeah. It is a work experience. Yeah.
Right. Now what?
Now it's like I've been applying for jobs. The job market in Germany seems to be really positive.
Okay.
Because I've been getting a lot of
aviation we are talking.
Yeah, for aviation. For aviation, yes.
Right.
For aviation, because there are a lot of open applications for me.
Okay.
And probably I feel that in the next coming 2 to 3 weeks, probably, or even a month, give or take, there would be opportunity. I've been attending interviews of late.
How many have you attended so far?
I had like 3 telephone interviews.
Alright.
And 2 person interviews.
Here in Berlin or anywhere in Germany?
2 were in Bremen on the phone, and 1 was with the defunct Air Berlin.
Okay.
So that was good that I didn't get selected with them. and then 2 more with other people.
Yeah. And do you want to give some real solid tips for people who how do they find a job here? Like,
so it's 2 things: contact and networking. That's very important.
Right.
That's very important in Germany. Personally, me or my friends I've spoken to, they always said this.
Right. I mean, look at your situation where you went to professor gave you this contact for movie, and this turns out the guy is working at airport, and he also gives you thesis now.
And work and money and
money. And I mean, so
just so, and I would suggest that have your CVs in German.
Okay.
because I was told that it's very, because when the HR in Germany, they see it in German and then they take it to the next level. So that is one important thing which I've learned. And then be true to yourself when you're on an interview. Tell them if you do not know something, tell them you do not know that.
Right.
And then they'll be fine with it.
Right.
But when you tell them that you know something and on the first day of job, if you're not able to do it, I've had people who've been fired from 6 months because you have a probationary period with most companies, and when they do not do the job, they do fire them. So we have to be very careful about what you say or what you write on your CV.
Right.
And all my interviews were based on what I was written on my CV. So they go through each and every word what you write, and they ask you about it. So you have to be very particular about what you write.
Okay, so I mean, I strongly, I've never said this very loud, but knowing German is not everything here in this country. Okay, if you suck horse shit, you suck at it. Okay, German can get you inside an office door, but the moment if you stop performing or if you're not fulfilling the basic task which has been given, you'll be thrown out like this, and it affects your overall performance, and you know what kind of reputation are you creating. You are creating the enemies within the company where you portrayed everything like I can do this, this, but if you don't work on your skills, again, I keep telling them that your degrees will never get you a job, right? Your networking will definitely, your skills will take you far, right? I mean, I can study in IIM and I can still be shit, right? So yeah, this is what I want to. So Ashok, I would also like to I want you to tell my audience about your learnings on the way which you acquired, and if you could just go back and redo things, what would that be? Especially, we are only talking about aviation management.
Okay. So in general, patience.
Okay.
So I've learned to be a lot more patient than I used to be.
Right.
So which I don't know, because it starts from the visa process.
Mm-hmm.
It's a grueling 6-week wait where you need to be very patient.
Right.
And in Germany, when you start living here, the bureaucracy or the paperwork is really tiring. That's all, to be honest.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So paperwork and bureaucracy is not what you think it is, but it is a pain in the ass. So that you have to learn to be patient. If you're coming to Germany, I would suggest that the first thing is have patience.
Right.
And then I would suggest start with German, actually.
Right. To start German at home in India?
I would suggest yes.
Right.
Because it's easier. Because
if they have time, they can study there.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And wait, I was wondering. So you had a 3 years of degree, right?
Yes.
And
4 years of degree.
In India? Oh yeah. You did engineering.
Yeah, engineering. Yeah.
Ah, okay. So I was just wondering, like, do you had a bachelor's degree and how did you get selected here?
It was an engineering degree, so I was qualified.
Right.
Because you have credit points and you have to qualify those credit points, and I was able to qualify for it.
So did you convert the grades?
It's very interesting because in Uni Assist does this wonderful job of taking only what studies are relevant to your current application, and they convert those marks. And luckily for me, those marks were really on a high scale. So I was able to get through with a 2.0 to 2.3 scale. And the other ones which I was also not so much interested back in my bachelor's didn't actually matter. But I did share this, but you guys should learn everything. But that's how they did my conversion with Uni Assist. Right. They explain it to you when they give you your score. Yeah. So that's when I realized, not bad.
Yeah.
Not bad.
I would like to end the video here. One thing you would like to tell, and then we finish.
I would suggest all the aspirants to have faith, and understand that what you're qualified to do, you can do that. Rather than apply for everything and waste time, do not do that. You make sure you understand what you are capable of. What are the scores you guys have got, and apply to those scores. Do not be optimistic, but not optimistic. And that's what I would suggest, because I did that mistake when I was applying. I used to apply for a ton of applications. My first year, before I went to work, when I was in my college, I used to apply for a lot of universities, and I would get rejections, and you would feel bad about it. But then you understand that you cannot be everywhere or do everything. You have yourself, and you have to know what your capabilities are and apply to that.
Right. Okay.
And that's what that would be my suggestion.
So, all right. So that's it for the video. What I can do for you guys is I'm gonna link, and not link, but I'm gonna put the description, his email address in the description. If you have any questions, directly ask him. He's the expert at this, and we have many more students like this in your.
I'm looking forward to those other stories as well.
Yeah. So yeah. All right. For now, take care. Peace out. Bye.